The internet is such a powerful thing, and I would be lying if I said I didn't use it every single day. Each and every year, children start using the internet at a younger and younger age. They get introduced to electronics and apps way younger than I ever even did. By 2-3 years old, kids are playing with tablets and know how to use them better than most adults. And then they move on to games that involve actually talking to other people. I was in virtual worlds talking to random people all the time as young as 7 years old. Back in the day, we had Club Penguin, there's IMVU, and there were so many other ones. Today, there's things like Minecraft and Roblox. There's even entire websites dedicated to talking to strangers, such as Omegle and Chat Roulette. But there's one thing. How much are they monitored? Kids use them quite a lot. If you go and ask your daughter or your son what Omegle is, they'll definitely tell you. And I can definitely tell you that that is the biggest playground for a pedophile. People don't think about the amount of predators that lurk within every single one of your children's games and every single social media platform available. The internet is not a safe place for children. And the grooming doesn't start on websites like Rapey. It starts in their games. It starts in the chat rooms. It starts within the most innocent places that you can imagine. And most people aren't aware of it. But I am, because I'm a victim of the internet myself. We have a serious issue that's much larger than just Nathan Larson alone. Victims of the internet end up victims of Nathan Larson. Victims of constant normalization and exposure to pedophiles and predators are who ends up on sites like Rapey. The internet is not safe for children, and it's about time that we do something about it. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video has been in the process since Nathan Larson's arrest. It just took a lot from me to make this video, and in my opinion, this is probably the most powerful and the most important video that I've made out of every single video I have done on Nathan Larson and the website Rapey. Some of the victims that I'm going to be speaking about in this video have gotten help, have told their parents, and have reached out to law enforcement to help the case with Nathan. However, some of these girls have stayed anonymous even to me. They have been kind enough to share their stories, but you have to remember that these girls don't come from the greatest homes. They have a very traumatic past, and it is hard to speak out and help when you are afraid of the people that are supposed to support you. Not everyone comes from the best home, not everyone has the most supportive parents, and a lot of people don't understand. My job here was not to force girls into doing things they feel uncomfortable with, as the FBI could have done everything that I did to track down these girls and do it themselves, but my job is not to really push them to do things they don't feel comfortable with. They need emotional support no matter what. So like I said, some of them did go to the police and their parents are aware, and some of them added me, told me what they had to say, and then blocked me altogether. Victim number 1 is a young girl and one of the youngest to be on the site, Rapey. She is 12 years old. She has childhood trauma, anxiety, and depression. She's not in therapy anymore, but she used to be, and she said that she grew up living a life already, at 12 mind you, filled with mental illness. This is a reoccurring thing that you see within the victims and these girls that are groomed by Nathan and so many others, is that they come from a very traumatic past and they suffer with a lot of mental illness. When I asked most of these girls how they heard about the site, they said through me, and that broke my heart. And it made me feel like everything I did was wrong and that I made things worse. But then I talked to them more and I realized that just because I spread awareness about something, Rapey wasn't the first community like this that they have ever been in. Nathan wasn't the first pedophile they've ever encountered. Most of them migrated towards this site because of how popular this kind of behavior is on the internet, and they couldn't believe that it was an entire community for girls and people that had things in common in this way. So as much as I blamed myself, again, I really truly think that this is an ongoing problem. People who are exposed and desensitized to these types of things on games like Roblox or on Kick and Omegle, like I said, of course they're going to migrate towards a website like this. So as much as I beat myself up for that, I try to think that the problem is much larger than me trying to spread awareness. At least they came to me, and at least most of them are getting help and getting treatment, which is the most important. She was one of the youngest girls to join Rapey and Styro. When she made an account, Nathan forced her to confirm. And if you don't remember, confirming on that website means that you have to send naked pictures of yourself in exchange for a badge to show that you are confirmed. Nathan told her if she did not confirm within 48 hours that she would be banned. She says that the site was interesting, and she said that Nathan was a very honest man. Victim claims that Nathan was talking to at least 20 minors a day intimately before he got arrested. She has been exposed to pedophilia on the internet well before she came across the TikTok exposing Rapey. This young girl has a boyfriend who is almost 40 years old. This young girl believes that she was not taken advantage of, and this young girl believes that she's smarter than average 12-year-olds and that pedophilia is okay as long as you're mature enough. She's had 4 suicide attempts by the age of 12. She has serious childhood trauma, anxiety, diagnosed with depression. She was exposed to pedophiles when using an app called Amino because she played Roblox. This young girl said that she was traumatized because of the amount of child porn that was always sent to her. I tried to personally convince this girl to change her ways, and I told her that I understand what it's like to feel alone and have someone there for you. She isn't the only girl like this though, and as heartbreaking as it is, it's extremely normal on the internet. But this poor girl, the point of the matter is that she's brainwashed. And she's so desensitized to what pedophilia is that she accepts it and thinks that she is an exception to it. She told me that another user who was extremely dangerous on the site tracked girls' IPs and would email their teachers at their actual schools. When I asked her if she'd ever join this kind of community again, she said she doesn't know. On the internet, this stuff is very normalized, and she says that her boyfriend loves her very much. And she is just one out of a million victims of the internet. She then blocked me and told me that she can't really talk to me because her boyfriend would be extremely upset if she found out. I told her that I'm always here if she needed me, and I hope that when she sees this and sees the stories of the other girls that she decides to maybe change her mind. Victim number 2 is age 14. This is one of the survivors that actually did speak out and told their mother and actually helped with the investigation by going to the police, which I am so overwhelmingly proud of because I understand how hard it is. She wanted to see if it was real. She admitted that she just wanted attention. She said she didn't have a father and anybody to give her that kind of attention at home. Much like the other girls, she spent a lot of her time sitting behind the screen of a computer. She dropped out of school at a very early age. She was bullied, and she didn't have a lot of emotional support or friends. She actually had a recent suicide attempt in October. She said that she flirted with Nathan and privately sent him pictures. She says that he constantly told her that he wanted to have a threesome with her and one of her friends who was also using the site. She says that now she is very aware that she was gaslit, manipulated, and groomed. The victim said that Nathan constantly told her that she would look good pregnant. He also said that she would look good chained to the basement. Nathan said he wanted to lock me in his room, rarely feed me, and use me. She was gaslit by tons and tons of men. It wasn't just Nathan. Victim number 3 is 17 years old. She was a confirmed member on the site and spoke with Nathan many times. When she found Rapey, she decided to join because it was familiar to her and she wanted to be in a community of people that understood her, much like the other victims. She said she liked the people her age because she felt so understood. She said that she was eventually exposed to child pornography and this made her feel uncomfortable. When she saw my live stream, she wanted to delete her account and she wanted to get off of Rapey because she started to realize how bad it really is. And Nathan would not allow anybody to delete their accounts. She claimed that this has hindered her mental health and triggered her traumatic past. She said, "I look very, very young. Nathan said I would be a perfect match when I was 18 because I was legal and as close to a child that he could legally get. On an average, he would speak to 10 to 15 girls or more before his arrest." This young girl unfortunately had 3 to 4 suicide attempts, was diagnosed bipolar with post-traumatic stress disorder. This young girl said that Nathan constantly fetishized her mental illness and would say that he loves girls with bipolar disorder because it's such a feminine and girly disorder. She also suffers from an eating disorder. She told me that Nathan told girls to lose weight by starving themselves and then throw up whatever you want to eat afterwards. I asked this young girl how could we stop communities like this from being built, how we could solve this problem in her own opinion. Her answer was to monitor apps like Kik and Omegle, like I had mentioned before, because that's where it starts. Victim number 4. She said that she joined because she wanted to make a change and she was trying to investigate it. She's only 14 years old. She began to get groomed by Nathan. Nathan manipulated her much like the others by telling her, well, we're not close enough for you to do this or do that, and he would constantly ban her and push her away to draw her in even more. She claims that they shared a romantic attraction towards one another, and Nathan would constantly gaslight her and manipulate her by telling her she doesn't do enough to be his girlfriend. She claims that she thought about suicide due to the rejection that she would face from Nathan and the others on the website at times. She said that he would constantly ban her and bully her even though she was just trying to get accepted into the community. Once close with Nathan and they were actually in a relationship, she says that she was his girlfriend. She became a confirmer on the website, which means that she accepted nudes from other minors and sent them to Nathan so that these girls could be confirmed for badges on the site. She eventually became an admin of the site. She was punished for not getting other girls to confirm at times. She told me that the most traumatizing thing that she had to go through was that Nathan had forced her to watch child pornography and masturbate to it. And on the brink of tears, she said, he made me consider if I was too a pedophile. And this girl is only 14 years old. Victim number 5 truly wanted to stay anonymous, so she did not say her age. Victim number 5 had wrote me a very long statement. She claims that she tried to leave the site many times and she wanted to get away from it. Curiosity got the best of me and I did some digging. I was immediately in shock simply because of how horrible some of the posts were there. I was shocked because it was on the clear web and you didn't even have to do anything to access the disgusting videos. I spent 1 week being constantly active, spending my time in the public group chat, and just kind of boosted my popularity. I think Nathan saw this as an opportunity to attempt to groom me and have control over me. He suggested that I create my own forum because I hated Rapey so much. At that time, I felt very empowered and thought this was a great idea. I came up with the idea of Flower Girls, which was another pedophile website. She said that Nathan even took her on a podcast with another familiar member who was named MCL771. And that after this podcast where you could hear this young girl in the background, she freaked out and really wanted her account deleted. She made a list of some of the things that Nathan Larson has done. He has admitted he wanted to have sex with his own child on his forum. He has expressed how much he wants to have sex with children. He wrote a disgusting and incestuous, necrophilic, and pedophilic fan fiction about me that mocks my sexual abuse. He bullied several members on the site, encouraged minors to starve themselves and kill themselves, sexually abused his ex-wife, has said he believes in sexual abuse minors are a waste of space and says that they deserve to be shot, says that rape is a proof of love when he knows nothing about love. He was extremely manipulative, charming, and insanely ignorant. You could argue with him for hours and he would still be a hypocrite and contradict his own points. He would still be stubborn. He was never grateful and he was very greedy. No matter how much he had, girls wrapped around his finger, he wanted more. He wanted more, so much so, he ran these disgusting sites, groomed children, and kidnapped a child. I am ashamed to have ever spoken to him, and I am ashamed I was a member of his site. I am relieved that he was arrested, and I am so happy he got caught before he could kill himself. That was his plan. He thought he was going to get away with it. Luckily, he didn't, and now I and many other survivors of his abuse are able to share experiences with this monster of a man. I spoke up about my previous sexual abuse, and I got no justice. This is my opportunity to share with the world what I could speak up about. These are just 5 girls, and most of their experiences I can't fully even put onto words and put onto the internet. The problem isn't just Rapey. The problem isn't just Nathan. These aren't just victims of Nathan. These are victims of the internet. These are girls that have been exposed to much more than just Rapey way before they even found the website. They migrated to this website because of how normal it is on the internet, especially when you are a young girl, all suffering with mental illness. Every single one of them came from broken homes or a very traumatic past, and every single one of them was vulnerable. Men like Nathan and many other predators on the internet know that. They know what they're doing and they know how to reel these kinds of girls in. They know which ones to pick and why all of the stories seem so similar. All these girls have several things in common. Creating a hub for it was just a way to have them all in one spot, but it goes on everywhere, on every corner of the internet. If you are a minor watching this, I want you to know that I've been in your shoes and I understand why it feels so great to have people that understand you, and I understand that you're desensitized because it seems so normal. Sometimes it's all that you know. If you're an adult watching this and you have children, my advice is to closely monitor them. And I know that a lot of kids deserve privacy, but their safety and their mental health is worth so much more than their privacy at 12, 11 years old on the internet. There has to be a way that things like this can be stopped and controlled. I feel that there are so many different things we can do to try to stop this together. Nathan isn't the first and Nathan won't be the last. And it's such a terrible and awful thing when you are exposed to how awful the world really is at such a young age, because it changes you forever and you lose your childhood. You lose what it is to be young and innocent. Most of these girls realize the error in their ways, and I'm so happy that they've come to me, that they talk to me, that they're opening up to their parents and they're getting the help that they need. But there are so many others that are brainwashed. Nathan knew what he was doing. The others know what they're doing. They're trying to create an army of pedophiles. They're trying to make these girls into pedophiles so that they carry on the legacy and this fucking disgusting way of life. This is trauma without even ever laying a hand on them. And this needs to come to an end. We have money and we have resources, and I'm tired of people pushing this to the side. I'm tired of people not paying attention to this. The internet is not a safe place for kids, especially kids who suffer with mental health problems, who are extremely vulnerable and just want to be loved. I thank you for taking your time out of the day to watch this, and I hope that it leaves you truly impacted, because this was extremely hard to make and it was extremely hard to hear, and I wish that I could save every single one of these kids, but I cannot do that alone. Someone with the power and the money to do something needs to. We need some sort of cybersecurity, and we need people constantly monitoring these sites. There are charges for cyberbullying. There should be charges for being a pedophile online. Someone should be going after these people the same way that I and so many others have, that I can't do anything except what I'm doing. This is only 5 girls, and I've spoke to like 20 in the last couple of weeks, and just more and more and more and more keep coming out. And Rapey isn't where it started. It's never where it started. When is it going to end? When is someone going to take this seriously? And when can we start building a plan to make the internet a safer place? When can we start holding these people accountable and stop shrugging it off as like, oh, well, it's going to happen. It doesn't have to happen, and we can make a change. You don't have to physically harm somebody to ruin their life, because these girls are forever traumatized. They're forever exposed. And at 12, they already know how cruel and cold the world can truly be. They are desensitized, and odds are they will never be the same. And nobody had to lay a finger on them. That is the power of the internet, and these girls are victims of the internet. So thank you for watching, and I plan on making a second part to this because I do have a couple of other girls, but I hope that everybody really walks away with this, realizing how dangerous of a place the internet is, and it doesn't just start with Nathan. It ends with men like Nathan. And I hope that everybody shares this and tries to spread the message of how important it is that we start making a change to the internet and we start making a change to the world. This will be the next generation of our adults someday. And right now, there are 12-year-olds watching child pornography, being brainwashed to believe that pedophilia is normal. And I am worried for our future. I am worried for our kids. And we need to do something to help these children, one way or another.